Hi everybody, welcome to part 2 on multiplying and dividing rational expressions. Okay, so this is example 2 of your guided notes. So in the next two examples, they're going to require us to factor more than what we did before. Okay, so notice how we have trinomials in the top and the bottom of our fraction here. So we have to apply our rules, okay, of factoring to both the numerator. So if I need two numbers that multiply to be negative 3 and add to be negative 2, that's going to be x minus 3 times x plus 1. Okay, and we're going to divide that, and then can we factor the denominator? So two numbers that multiply to be 4 and add to be 5 are x plus 4 and x plus 1. So from right here now, the first thing I want to do is figure out what x can't be. So if I look in the denominator, x, what makes the denominator 0? Well, if I have negative 4, negative 4 plus 4 is 0, so x cannot be negative 4, and x cannot be negative 1. Okay, those are the first things, your restrictions, and you always look back at the original expression for your restrictions, never after you simplify. And notice we have now x plus 1 here, that's going to go to 1, and x plus 1 is going to go to 1. They have that in common, so they factor out and we can simplify them. So our final answer is going to be x minus 3 over x plus 4. Okay, and we have those restrictions listed. Always list the restrictions with your answer. Okay, let's go ahead and look at example 2. Example 2 is a little bit nicer because we don't have to factor the numerator, but the denominator is a little bit tougher to factor. So we have 3x plus 4 divided by 3x squared plus x minus 4. So ignore the numerator for now, and let's factor the denominator. Now remember, you have a couple ways you can factor. If you had scratch work, I'm going to go ahead and 3 times negative 4, I need two numbers that multiply to be negative 12 and add to be 1. So that's going to be x plus 4 times x minus 3. And remember here I divide by my leading term out here. So I'm going to divide by 3 there, divide by 3 here. So I'm just factoring the denominator now. Okay, and I'll come over here and I have the numerator over the denominator. So 3 does not go into 4, so our first factor is 3x plus 4. Okay, and our second factor, 3 goes into itself once, 3 goes into itself once. You get x minus 1. Okay, so before you simplify this one final time, I'm going to go ahead and write my restrictions. X cannot be 1 for this one. And if I plug in, if I solve this equation by setting it equal to 0, I would get x cannot be negative 4/3. Okay? And notice how the 3x plus 4 and the 3x plus 4 are in common. So you factor them out and you simplify. So I get 1 over x minus 1, and x cannot be 1, and x cannot be negative 4/3. Okay, so that's example 2. And again, I'm going to stop here for just to make a shorter video, and I'll come back and do example number 3 for you on the guided notes, simplifying by factoring negative 1. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know, and we'll see you next time.